Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
On July 4th, 1962, I found myself in the lost and found of mankind. Just because something finds its way to the lost and found doesn't mean that it wants to be there. Just because something finds its way to the lost and found doesn't mean that the person who lost it doesn't care for that lost item.
You are writing moments that people will learn from, grow from, and heal through for thousands of years. Together, we are co-authoring a unique moment in time. That DNA, those fingerprints, they're going to be gone. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. But it is your story that they will tell for thousands of years. But only if you leave it. Things that do not serve you must go. The longer you wait, the more time you give them to trick you into serving them. 22 homes in foster care, everything I wore as a scar, as a shame, things that started like Velcro on my spirit. After just a few months, then years, then decades, I had believed myself into believing that they were indelible tattoos. Sometimes we have to be broken down to appreciate the view once we start getting up. I want you to leave this place and know that you have been changed. Why? How do I know it's true? Because each of you has just changed. I got a Willy Wonka shirt. I love me some Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory. Good morning and welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. Ooh, it's the middle of the week, y'all. Boy, it's going quickly this week, wouldn't you say? And I am so excited about today's show, and you will be as well in just a moment here. So welcome. How y'all doing today? I see you looking great. Good. Good morning, beautiful people. I see you, girl, over there putting in my lashes on, looking cute. I see you over there. I'm so happy to be here. We are, let me tell you, we're not just coming together for the show. We're coming together because we are fulfilling one of the greatest promises available to all of us. And that is that one that guarantees us where two or more of us comes together. When two or more of us come together with that, we share that heart space, and we come together in agreement, if you will. Spiritual magic happens. That's what happens. Two or more is all it takes. I'm one, you're the other. Let's go, right? That's the bell of purpose. I ring it every time there's some truth on the table. Why? Because I know you're distracted. I know we do a lot. We're flat ironing hair, feeding the baby oatmeal, on and on and on. But we should never be so busy that we miss the truth. So lean in when you hear the bell of purpose right there, because I ring it on purpose, right? So another thing is, can I get an amen up in here today? That kicks off that we're in agreement, that we're here to pour into each other and allow ourselves to be poured into, especially by today's guest, Dr. Lena G. Clark. Y'all want to play the guess the middle name game today? How about for a $10 gift card? I bet you want to play now. Yeah, I don't feel like playing her $10. Everybody, I'll do it. I'll do it. So Lena G. Okay, I'm going to go first. Lena. That's hard. There's not a lot of G. Georgetta? No, wait. Glodine. Lena Glodine. I know a Glodine. Two of them, by the way, right? Lena. Oh, Lord. Okay, this is going to be a good one. Drop your guesses in the comments. We'll find out at the end of the broadcast what the G stands for. I'm going to keep trying to guess. I might Google G names. Gail. Lena Gale. No, that I don't know. Okay, anyway, a couple announcements before we get Lena G in here. Dr. Lena. Let's see. Oh, you guys. Up in the corner, you see it. There's a flow code up there, the purple. Get your phones out. Grab that. Everybody's been texting me and DMing me, asking me, where'd you get that new necklace? This is a Metatron. Can you see it? It's beautiful. Karma Cords. You know, I wear all their stuff. Brand ambassador. Right? So listen, if you want your 30% discount and to see the entire catalog of wonderful products, all spiritually based, click, take your phone, take a picture or zoom in, hit that flow code up there and head over and get your discount. Also, if you're in the Chicagoland area, the last day of August and the first day of September, it's called a crossover event. It's the 2023 Accelerator Business Summit here in Chicago at the beautiful Tinley Park Convention Center, where I, yours truly, will be your 2-day master of ceremonies. It is entitled The Road to Legacy Mindset. Over 30 incredible speakers, breakout sessions, 100 exhibitors in the house that day or both days. And guess who? Here it is. Our keynote speaker. He's one of my best friends now. I just love him. Yes. Sanjeev Chopra, Deepak Chopra's brother. And this is the title actually of his keynote. The two most important days. Do you know what they are? The day you were born and the day you found out why. Love it. That's actually a quote from Mark Twain. Also, we just launched. 2 people are aboard flying in over the next 2 months to film their very own masterclass. Now, you guys know my masterclass came out about 3 years ago, was #1 in the UK for about 9 months. And boy, did it change my life. When I was finished, they asked me, how was it? And I just looked at the camera. I was so discombobulated. It was like, this is your life by doing one of these. And I said, I believe every person should have their own masterclass. And now you can. Legacy Builders masterclasses. Get at me if you want to find out all the details. We'll set up a call and take you there. Also, if you are in the Kansas City area the week before the Chicago event, I'd love to meet you in person at the Becoming the Best You event. It is an experience. I was there last year when we were in St. Louis. Send me to St. Louis. Oh, boy. Anyway, okay, it's my ADHD. Deal with it. Okay. But yes, it is going to be phenomenal. So we want you there. Look at this. Look at all these people, right? I mean it. Yes, Dr. Ruben West, Saucony Prince, and many, many others. And it wouldn't be the same if you weren't there. So come on aboard. We'll see you in KC, right? If nothing else, we'll have some barbecue. So Dr. Lena is on the way in. She's never been here. I was on her show just the other day. Uh, what is it exactly? Removing the mask? She'll tell us all about it, her podcast. And she's a mental health expert. She's an entrepreneur in a big, big way. Let's just say, I'll give you a clue. And you would never think, I think I can make a fortune by coming out with another water. She did. I'm trying to figure out, so I might come up with some new grass or something. Ice. New ice. I'd come up with a new. Oh, yeah. Okay. Steal it if you want to. I'm calling my attorney right now. So listen, put your hearts on the screen. It's our virtual way of welcoming people here on the show, rolling out that red carpet, if you will, because here she comes. Get your questions, your comments, and just get into this. It's all about a lot of things today, but we're going to start today. I want to talk to Dr. Lena about the mental health situation with our youth. We're going to start there. Here she comes, you guys. Put your hearts on the screen. Dr. Lena Giovanna Clark. You born in Georgia?
Yes.
Oh, that's probably it. That's Lena Georgia Clark. Right. Listen, don't laugh, because I met a girl once. And she was sitting on the porch. I was walking by. She was like, hi. I said, hi. I said, she's so pretty. What's your name? She goes, Early May. I said, is that a nickname? She goes, no, that's my real name. Pulled out her license. It said Early May Jenkins. I said, Early May? She goes, yep, because I was born in early May.
Oh my gosh.
Right? Good morning, Dr. Lena G.
Good morning. Good morning.
Don't slip and say your middle name yet. Until we get together. How you feeling?
I am feeling wonderful this morning. Thank you so much for asking.
Awesome. I'm loving all these colors.
Thank you. Thank you.
So look, you have so many accolades and so many achievements under your belt. I'm going to read her bio. I'd rather do what I do every morning, and I allow the guests to have about a minute by themselves, just up close and personal with the audience, just to create your own vibe with them. So I'm going to dip out for about a minute and let you just get it started, and I'll come back in, and we'll officially get the party started. How's that sound to you?
That sounds great.
Perfect. All you. Take it away.
Yes, good morning. My name is Dr. Lena G. Clark. I am the founder and CEO of Miracle Mind Global. And Miracle Mind Global is an entity where we help and we assist individuals that struggle with mental health issues. And we have a plethora of individuals, professionals on our team to help, such as psychiatrists, psychologists, counselors. And what we do is we break down the science and we educate individuals about how the mind works. We often do workshops, we do tours within the community. Also, we're global, and we do slideshows on how the brain really functions. We show them visual diagrams, and that's something that most doctors don't do. Other than just give them prescriptions and give them medication, people need to know, why am I feeling a certain way? Why am I dealing, with a depression? And where is that coming from? Your mind is just like any other part of your body. So when you have a physical ailment, such as maybe you have a X-ray or any other type of diagnosis, the doctor's going to explain that to you. Sometimes they will even show you pictures of where that illness is coming from. But when it comes to the mind, that does not happen. So that is what we do, because we give people a choice. Everyone doesn't necessarily need to speak with a psychiatrist. Sometimes people just want someone to talk to. They just want that connection, someone to hold their hand throughout the process. And we give individuals a POA, which is a plan of action. We make sure that they have something that they're able to do to take home with, not just give them, again, medication. So this is what we do when it comes to Miracle Mind Global. And it is something that I enjoy doing. It is a passion of mine. It has become my purpose as well. And I'm adamant about it. So I am literally on call 24/7. We have a 24-hour hotline that we've also created, because we do know we have the suicide hotline and emergency numbers. But when you want something to really work, and I've been in the system, and I've been doing this for 20 years plus, you build it yourself, because I know how it works. And so that is one of the things that I really, really do, because I myself have a book titled An Amazing Mind. And after losing my husband to suicide, I lived it. And so, I was really able to see hands on.
Okay, don't talk about the book yet, because I got that down the road.
Okay.
See, that's what happens, y'all, when you get people to have their own shows. They just take off, start interviewing you. That ain't happening. That's why I was on your show first. Look, oh, before I forget, because I don't want to get sued. She's under contract. Say hello to my guest. She's not a guest. This is
Hello.
This is Lucy McGillicuddy Ricardo. She's here every day and has been for 7 years. And you guys, yes, I am still on. We are in this house on our Get It Right journey for our health and wellness. We start a couple months before most people. And today, and so you see, I gave up all my cereal. And so I have my egg white thing and my one vegetarian Morningstar sausage. Morningstar Farm sausage. So, and let me tell you, until yesterday, we were some hangry folks up in here. I mean, we walked past each other, my husband and I, like, morning, what's so good about it? It's like, hi, whatever, because it was like, oh my God. And then we look at the food on the plate and we're like, is that it? But now it's starting day 4, starting to feel right. So get started. That's all you got to do to make that change. So, Dr. Lena.
Yes.
I actually, believe it or not, a lot of people don't know this, almost went down that same road with you about mental health. But then those voices started telling me, you know what? Shut up. I'm talking. See, there they go again. You thought I was cray, didn't you? I'm just kidding. I don't have it that bad, but I do have ADHD, but it is a superpower. But I wanted to speak to, because, we hear so much about mental health and we talk about our own and this and the other, but we don't talk about the mental health of our children too often. And I was hoping you'd be able to, throw some of that down for us with us today. And so before, just to help kick it off, I wanted us to take a look at this little clip real quick, and then we'll go from there. It's entitled The Troubling Reality of the American Teenager. Take a listen.
Okay.
Thursday, the CDC published a comprehensive report on the mental health of American children. It covers 7 years of data and shows a troubling reality about rising anxiety and depression in our kids. Most striking, though, is that the research ends in 2019. So the report does not take into account the impact of the loss and isolation children have felt during the pandemic. NBC's Antonia Hilton places our Sunday spotlight on the kids.
As the country tries once again to inch toward a sense of normalcy, doctors and parents are just starting to see the toll the pandemic has taken on children long term. Even the kids who seem all right often aren't.
And she stands against the lightning and the thunder.
Sydney Jackson is the senior class president and star of the spring musical at Woodlands High School in Hartsdale, New York. She's always loved
Hello.
is in her room.
Okay.
Educating others on the signs of struggle, Sydney realized she needed therapy too.
It's giving me a space where I can just about.
Uncertainty is what physicians say has turned kids from every walk of life into the walking wounded. In February and March of 2021, ER visits for suspected suicide attempts were 51% higher among girls ages 12 to 17 than during the same period in 2019. Doctors estimate the U.S. needs 47 psychiatrists per 100,000 kids. That's 4 times what was available in 2020.
My daughter goes on Zoom.
Child psychiatrist Dr. Jonathan Slater says his work is overwhelming.
Sometimes I think I need to split myself in 3. I can't handle all the calls. There's tremendous wait lists in our hospital, private clinicians, clinics for kids that need to be seen.
Does our society pay enough attention to kids?
Definitely not. That's been the biggest failure of the approach to pandemic.
Dr. Slater treats him.
So there, we've got enough to get started. And I just wanted it to this piece to kind of open the door inside of all of our minds, to think about the kids we know, or what we've heard, or what they've said or not said. So tell us, what do you think about this, and how is that inside of the work you do? What's it look like right now with kids?
Basically, what the gentleman said, a lot of the kids are not getting the attention. Since COVID 2022, I can say that so many kids were felt neglected. It hit them hard. Many of the kids were caught in the middle of the COVID. When I say caught in the middle, their school, their life was just at a halt,
Yeah.
to a halt.
Yeah.
And I can say that, even from experience, our older son was, didn't get a chance to graduate. Many did not. So they didn't get a chance to go back to school, to even close out, to graduate. A lot of the activities, so
Right.
many of the students are in certain home life situations where their teachers and their counselors are all they have. And they weren't able to reconnect with them. Some of them don't even have, real parents at home. It's not like we think it is a lot of times.
Right.
Oh, their counselors, they go and talk to them. Their teachers, they could talk to them. And believe it or not, some weren't even able to get, the decent meals. Some kids go to school and that's the only meal they get.
That's the only meal they get. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Now, one of the things that prompted me to actually use that clip was, I was so impressed that they used an African-American young lady who spoke to her decision to speak it out and say, I need therapy, because we know inside of the Black culture, and I'm sure a lot of other cultures, but specifically I can speak from that because I'm Black. We don't talk about that kind of stuff. If I would have brought something like that up to my mom, she would have been, boy, ain't nothing wrong with you. Go on in there and read a book or something. Leave me alone. That kind of thing. It's so easily dismissed.
Yes.
And so what do you say about that? Do you see that trend changing? Is it becoming more accessible to kids of color, or what's the deal?
Well, I really don't see things changing that much.
Really?
I really don't. I mean, the kids have really lost hope. A lot of them have lost faith. And so basically, a lot of them are just doing their thing. And so they say social media is really huge. I've spoken with quite a few parents calling, I need help with my child. But the disconnect is at home because many are at homeschool, never gone back to school. And so the parent's not there, and that's what a lot of them feel. When my parent is not there, they're not communicating with me. I can't get my parent to understand me. So again, that's where the disconnect and where they're feeling that they've lost their child. And so I really don't see things really changing. The suicide rate has really gone over the top, 70%.
Yes. I
Yes.
currently work with 3 speakers
Mhm.
in my coaching program that one of their top 3 speaking topics is suicide, right? But
Mhm.
the thing that I found that they both say, that they all say, is the most shocking part about the suicide. And
Mhm.
one of my coaching clients was a New York City detective, and
Mhm.
he said in his career he went to over 800 suicide calls. And he
Mm.
said the thing that shocked him over and over again, and it reminds me of Ellen, the guy off her show, how he was on TikTok the night before dancing with his kids and stuff, and then 6 blocks from his house the next day with a bullet in his brain. Nobody saw it coming. So I
Right.
want to talk about, how do these signs, or red flags, if you will, seemingly hide in plain sight?
Mhm.
I mean, you talk about the kids being sequestered and whatnot. How are we not seeing when our kids are that depressed
Mhm.
that they are capable of taking their own lives? What are we missing?
Well, what we're missing, we're not paying attention
To what?
to your
Their
children,
behavior patterns?
to the signs that, yes, we think we are, but we're not. When we are involved in our children's lives, because it's such a regular thing every day, we think we're active. We go along with the normal duty, but your child normally is it, what I'm trying to say is that a lot of times kids go to their parent and they'll say something, but the parent will push them off. So in their mind, they don't want to be bothered. So what they do is they isolate themselves because it's a regular pattern. So what parents have to do is literally put their lives aside. When you have children, it's a sacrifice. It's no longer about you. You have to ask questions because your child is not going to literally pull you by the coattail and say, hey, I need help. You have to pay attention and ask questions. And most parents don't do that. They just stick to the normal routine and think, oh, you're going to be okay, because the parents have so much going on. Most parents are trying to figure out, how am I going to put food on the table? They're
Yeah.
trying to figure out, how am I going to pay the bills? So what the kid does is they go outside. That's how they get involved in gang activity. That's how they get involved, with circles that they really don't need to be in, because they're not getting the attention from home, and that's all they want. Many parents are also suffering with mental health issues. So what it does is it trickles down.
That's a great point.
It starts from the top and it trickles down. And there's a lot that's going on in the home.
Yeah. It was about a month ago. I can't
Mhm.
remember where, but I saw a video from an African American couple. He was a doctor. The mother was an attorney. They had one daughter. She was 16 years old. She was the cheerleading captain, president of her class. She led the youth group at her church. And the very night before she took her own life, they had been out shopping for her prom dress, and everything seemed, they had dinner together. They checked her homework or whatever they did and kissed each other goodnight. All of the boxes were checked. And then they were waiting at the breakfast bar for her that morning in the kitchen. She didn't come out. She didn't come out. And the father went in and said he didn't see her in the room. And then he looked behind the door and there she was hanging. And he said, I will never, ever, of course he won't forget it. But the thing that broke their hearts, and it broke my heart, Dr. Lena, just hearing them talk about it, was they could not understand what they did wrong. Now, this girl was in an affluent neighborhood, in the best schools, all of this. So what is that? How, what did these people not do, in your opinion? I mean, are some of these signs invisible?
A lot of them are. I mean, sometimes we say, well, you did all you could. There was nothing you could have done. We often hear that. I heard you say affluent. It could have been more. So many times parents expect so much out of their children, and it's overwhelming. They feel as if I have to be that perfect person. I have to be who you want me to be, not who I want to be.
Yeah.
And they can't deal with that. That's why it's so easy for them to go the other route, except
Yeah.
they are, because a lot of parents put so much pressure on their children because they want them to be of a certain status because they were that way. They want them to accomplish certain things in life, but the child really doesn't want to. That child is, yes, it's your child, but allow that child to be who they are. Allow them to express who they are and be themselves.
That's a great point. We had that a couple years ago. As a matter of fact, we're spending the day with her this Friday. We have a niece who is in art school here in Chicago from out of state. And when she first got here, all of a sudden, every time we met with her, there were new tattoos, there were new piercings, and we were like, "What in the world?" And so, the grapevine in the family, did you? And we were afraid they were signs of something untowards, but now we're seeing that she is coming into her own because
Yes.
she was allowed to. And everyone was going, "Oh, that's just what they do at art school," But I guess it could go either way. It could be a sign of a cry for help or self-expression. Is there any way for parents, family members, friends of these kids to ascertain which direction these new appearances are headed? How do we know?
You really don't know. Communication, as I stated several times, communication. Get involved in your child's life. Don't just have the expectations for, don't do that, because this is a different generation we're dealing with. And what they want is attention. Social media has never been the way it is now. It was not like this when we were coming up. The peer pressure.
I didn't even have it.
No. So we have to literally get involved in our child's life, regardless of what they say. They may push you away. Many parents don't do that. Many parents don't even go in their child's room just to see what's going on. They just think, you know,
Lord.
yeah.
Remember when we were young, you couldn't hide nothing up in there. Come home and be all out on the kitchen table waiting on you. That's
Thank
what
you.
I found.
Right.
Did not say something like, what you doing in my room? That's my space.
Exactly.
You'd be picking your teeth up.
And you had no right to say, oh, lock your door. No.
Do you think that the legal ramifications and whatnot now, because we used to get whoopings, right? We did. We
Yeah,
did.
we
And
did.
now parents, a lot of people don't because, I don't want to go to jail and this and the other. Discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the lack of, putting kids on punishment and all this and sticking to it? Because I'm going to tell you something. I have seen so many times in my family where they say, give me your phone to their kid. Ain't 20 minutes later,
they have it back.
I'm like, what did they go and say? Because I really believed her or him when they said, you ain't getting this back for a week. And then they give in, they cave. What is that? Enabling?
You are enabling. You're no longer in charge. Coming up, we were in charge, disciplinarian, coming from like you just mentioned, same with you. Parents are not disciplining, and I'm not saying all parents now.
Right.
But again, kids now are getting weaker and wiser. They are much wiser. So a lot of parents don't have the patience to understand or even want to understand. They feel like that child is too much. I can't deal with them, but that's your child. You mentioned earlier, as far as not, putting your hands on your child. That's considered abuse.
Right.
You can call it spanking or whatever you want to call it. Spanking is like a toddler. But when we were coming up, it didn't hurt us. And now, again, it's part of the system to brainwash the parents, coming from my perspective again, because if you don't discipline your child, who will? The street will. They're either going to be dead or they're going to be in jail.
Right.
So.
Or trafficked or.
Yeah, or trafficked. And so again, it all comes to you controlling your child. It's work. It's more work now than it was when we were coming up. Again, this is a totally different generation.
Sure is.
So I just don't believe that there's enough discipline. So many parents are saying, I can't handle it. But that's your child. That is your child, regardless. And that is what you have to let your children know, regardless of how old they are.
Yeah.
Let them know that I'm still your parent.
Yeah.
But you have to start when they're younger, because there's a lot of peer pressure, and that's what they're listening to, social media, listening to their friends tell them, well, different things. So then they're bringing it home and they're saying, well, you can't tell me what to do. So there's a lot to factor into that question. But I always say, to answer your question, closing in that part, is to take control of your home, because as a parent, that is your obligation.
That's right.
That is your obligation.
That's right. That's right. You mentioned earlier that you guys have an 800 number.
Yes, correct.
And I'm big on resources. And so when we're going to go to break here in a moment, and if you could, during that time, could you drop that number in the private chat, and we'll provide it to the audience just so they have a resource just to call, ask questions, run things past an objective viewpoint, that sort of thing. Because if we try to do better, eventually we will do better. Okay, great. Listen, you guys, we're going to go to a break real quick. We'll be right back. And when we return, I want to talk to the good doctor about how do we, you and I, how do we know if we need to see someone about something that is a mental health issue within our own sacred space? We'll get to that and much more, a lot more show ahead of us. We'll be right back. Don't you dare go away.
This world is changing more and more every day, and we've decided to change right along with it. My name is Dr. Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the president of Trajectory TV Network. At Trajectory, our vision is to provide a creative platform for top content creators and storytellers from around the globe. We're also dedicated to providing this world with content that is healing, educational, empowering, exciting, and above all else, entertaining and transparent. So right now, I invite all of you who believe yourselves to be global game changers to use the link found here and simply take a chance. Schedule a virtual chat where you'll have the opportunity to share your vision for your very own global television show with me, the network president. So use that link, and together, let's begin changing and healing this world, one story at a time. And remember, whether you have years of experience in front of the camera or zero experience, it doesn't matter. What matters the most is your desire to share great content through television and a willingness to share it with passion and with purpose. You might ask, how do I know if I've fallen in love with my purpose and my purpose has fallen in love with me? It's easy when you've lost your voice because you just can't stop talking about it. I'll see you soon.
Welcome back, you guys. It's me, Dr. Lauren, and we are back with Dr. Lena G, and I think it's Geneva. That's what my guess is going to be, Geneva. Lena Geneva. I like the way that rolls. And is it Geneva?
No, it's not.
Dang. Okay, that's my one guess, so I'm out of the running. I can't win my own gift card. Man, okay. I should have went with Gail. Lena Gail, if you don't get off my phone, don't make me come up there. I can hear that. So listen, before the break, I kind of threw this out there, hoping it would germinate during the break, and this goes for you guys too. How do we, I think there are a lot of issues that many of us deal with that we don't put into the category of mental health. For instance, for decades, and it still rears its ugly head from time to time, but once I realized it was a mental health issue, because I'm married to a therapist, I knew it had to be either a therapist or a plastic surgeon I was going to marry. One out of two ain't bad. I was going to need both. Listen, and he, my husband used to tell me, honey, you need to get this anger in check. Anger leads to destruction. And so I started working on that, but I had never I had ADHD, and they said you got, imposter syndrome and trauma and all this stuff, but I didn't think anger was a mental health issue. Talk about some of the warning signs or some of the clues, if you will, that we can find within ourselves or say our spouse or something that might just be something a therapist or a counselor or anyone, a mentor even, could help us with that we usually don't categorize as mental health.
Yes, absolutely. Well, some of the signs I often share with individuals that are clients is to pay attention to mood swings, pay attention to withdrawal behaviors. Individuals sometimes, have up and down mood swings. They withdraw. Their schedule or changes. They're not consistent. We see a lot of inconsistencies within their daily routine. If you see someone wanting to self-medicate, other than just wanting to do things that they were normally doing. When I say self-medicate, wanting to start drinking or, outside drug activities such as things, that nature. And withdrawal is one thing that I tell people pay attention. We overlook that a lot.
Withdrawal,
right. Withdrawal from family activities, withdrawal from normal, again, sometimes not wanting to get up on time, wanting to go to work, just wanting to isolate themselves. And that is a lot of times where depression starts to sink in because there are several levels of depression. So we want to watch and pay attention to get that early.
You're right. Because you just made me think of a friend who will remain nameless because she's I almost said what she does for a living. And if she heard it, she's an FBI agent, right? Now we know who it is, those who know us. But the thing is, after her mother passed away, all of a sudden for like 2 years, every time she would make plans with us. And then 20 minutes before we think she's going to show up, it was always when she was going to come to us, not when we were coming to her, but when she was coming to us. And it got to the point she'd cancel. And so we started saying, we would make sub plans.
Okay.
Like when Margaret,
Uh-oh.
when this person doesn't show up, we're just going to go and do this instead. And we actually talked with her about it, and she did something about it. And then suddenly, little by little, but here's another part too. This was what it was. Because we had another friend like that, one of our neighbors would never come to the things that we would invite everyone to. But finally, like just on the 4th of July, this woman came. She didn't come up on the deck where everyone was. She sat out at the table that was out in the yard under the canopy, and we let her. We took bowls of chips and stuff over. And then about 2 hours later, she was up on the deck in the corner. And then she had scooted her chair a little closer. And that's when we talked about later how important it is for us to just allow people to be who they are and meet them where they're at.
Right.
Talk about how important that is. Because sometimes we think it's that easy for people to just, why don't you quit doing that? And they don't know what that means. Talk about how we can be of service to others to just ease them into a better place.
Yes. That is what we do. We train individuals, our team.
You do.
Oh yes, we have a mindset transformation team where we go into the community every month and sometimes every other week, and so we meet people where they are. We just put on our blue jeans, our t-shirts, and we just head out to open the door for people who want help. And some people just want a sounding board, just someone to listen to, and not for you to do all the talking. Let them talk.
Let them talk.
Let them talk. Yes. And so again, it's about meeting them where they are and learning to have patience. When it comes to mental health, it takes patience, understanding, compassion. And those are three factors that I tell individuals. Take the time to understand individuals. They may not be like you. They may not be where you are. No two people are the same.
Right.
And you have to learn to accept everyone, and I say, just like a box of crayons, all colors are different. After you're done using that box of crayons and you paint your picture, it's a beautiful picture.
No matter what.
No matter what. And that's how we have to allow individuals to be as well. Be your own color. Be who you are. Accept them. Society is putting so much pressure on individuals, not just our minors, but also adults as well. Everyone wants to compete. Everyone wants to compare. And you're not able to show who you are.
Right.
Your identity. Do you know who you are? Many
Fear
people
of
don't know who you
judgment.
are. How
Fear
can
of
you?
judgment is huge.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right.
Do you have any tips on putting you on the spot? Sometimes the dukes go up automatically when you open the conversation with the term mental health. I'm concerned about your mental health. Can we have a conversation about your mental people? And if somebody say that to me, I'm like, who you calling crazy? Oh no, I'm taking. Say it again. I want to say it again, and now I'm proving they're right. So, is there a softer, gentler way to ease into that conversation, almost tricking the person into it without them becoming so defensive? What terminology or what openers can we use that you've experienced that are positive?
Well, we normally don't say that like mental illness. We just say your mindset, mental wealth.
Mindset.
Because yes, your mindset. And again, it's okay not to be okay. And this is something again that we have to really put into our normal vocabulary. Your mind is just like any other part of your body, but because of the stigma, the taboo in certain communities and just really global now is what we have to exercise and not allow that to affect individuals. That it's okay. Just let people know in a calm way.
Yeah.
It's okay to talk about what's on your mind. What's
Yeah.
on your mind today? And
Yeah.
I tell people, Facebook has it. The first question under your bio, under your name is what? What's on your mind?
What's on your mind? Good
But
point.
yes. So
Mm.
the same is question that we have to ask ourselves and other in your lives, in your home. We get so involved in our regular routine, we forget to ask that person. How are
And
you?
then shut up and listen,
Right.
like
Just
you said.
right. We want to judge them because we think we know them. And 99.9% of individuals who know you, they don't want to talk to you because the first thing they're going to say is you're going to judge me. You're going to talk too much. I can't talk to that person. And when you say, when you find out, well, why don't you come talk to me?
I tried.
Yes.
Yeah, I've
Mhm,
been guilty of that.
mhm.
So this hotline number that is scrolling on the
Yes.
screen, if someone should dial that number, could you give them an idea real quick, um, uh, as far as what they can expect there? Because the next thing I want to talk about before we get out of here is what's inside this glass.
Yes, actually, when you call that number, we have individuals that will pick up and we'll call again 24/7. A lot of times I will be the person, no matter what time it is, 2 or 3 in the morning. Those are the times and the hours that's very critical to a lot of people when things are just running through their minds, when their mind is racing. And I tell individuals, don't ignore the signs. Don't allow those voices to tell you to do something that you know you don't need to do
Right.
because you have a purpose. You are having a divine purpose. And so those voices don't want you to go and be fulfilling, don't want you to press through. They want you to abort whatever
Just
you were called to do.
I'm just curious, how many times are just pick a number, just I'm not over the last year, how many times has your phone rang in the middle of the night on this line?
Oh, at least I would say anywhere between 50 to 60 times. Hmm.
Is that scary sometimes? Can you tell when a person is right there, like looking over the edge where
Hmm.
you almost can get vertigo just through what they're expressing? And
Hmm.
how you must have been trained in
Yeah.
how to
Mhm.
talk a person off the ledge, sometimes literally.
Yes, absolutely. As I mentioned, I didn't get a chance to really to expound on the book, but my husband,
Oh, go now, do it now.
I lost my husband to suicide. I lived it.
Oh,
So
yes.
every night I was able, didn't know, and it doesn't discriminate. It doesn't matter.
You didn't see it coming.
Didn't see the signs. So we were so busy. We had built an empire. He was an entrepreneur. He had his master's from one of the top colleges in the United States, but he was overwhelmed. You know, they passed the buck when I say they, where he was reaching out for help. And no one wanted to pay attention. The big churches, they ignored the signs. It's something they don't talk about. That's another story.
Mm.
Tired. He was tired. And men don't they don't open up as like women do.
My
And that's
brother-in-law took his life and said the same thing in his last voicemail. I'm just tired.
we're tired. And so we have to pay attention. I did not know. Didn't have a clue because I didn't think in a million years a man of his caliber would do something like that. But he often would say, "Why do you put up with me?" Because I just dealt with it. As his spouse, I was there to support him, not to add, destruction or division. He often self-medicated, and on his best days, he was a great husband. But on the bad days, again, I dealt with it. But I did not ask those questions because I had no clue
Mm.
until after he died. And then that's when I found out there were 3 generations in his family. It was on generations on his mother's side. So being that we had children, I said, no, the buck stops here. And so we have to dig. We have to ask questions because a lot of this stuff is intergenerational trauma. Not
Mm.
dealt with. Yes.
Wow.
Mhm. Yes. And once we become knowledgeable, we have an obligation. And I felt like I had an obligation to do something.
Dr. Lena, I should have told you when the Chicago internet kicks me off, you're still there. So you can
Okay.
just run with it.
Okay. All right. I wasn't sure of it. So definitely, I tell individuals to do your homework,
Yeah.
yeah, to do your homework and ask questions. And that is something that I did not do. And it was something, again, he was rejected as a child, bringing that in. Men, again, don't talk. And
Yeah.
so as they get older,
Yeah.
in their 50s and in their 60s, a lot of men, this is when things happen
Yeah.
mentally.
Yeah.
So, yes.
So real quick, what about you?
Hmm.
Survivor guilt or because I'm gonna tell you, what's
Hmm.
happening now? My brother-in-law took his life 2 weeks before COVID hit.
Mm.
And now my sister is losing lifelong girlfriends because a couple of them have actually said to her, and a family member did, one of our siblings said to her, I just found this out a couple weeks ago when my nieces were here from LA, you know, you're responsible for Joe killing himself.
Oh,
And she, and then now I'm worried about her.
yes.
So talk about the person who's left holding the bag, you know,
Mhm.
because that's one thing a lot of people say, that suicide is a selfish act because what you do to the people you leave behind. Talk
Yes.
about yourself. How did you begin, and I'm sure you're still on a daily
Mhm.
basis healing. What do you do to keep moving through it and not carry or hold space for
Mhm.
that?
Well, even though it was in 2008, that was some time ago. And it took time. It was a process. It was very, very hurtful. It was painful, because he was my husband. He was my other half. And we had 2 children together. But what I did was I turned my pain into my purpose. And I was determined. I fought. I said, there's a reason. I said, if I can help and if I can save one person not to do what my husband did,
Mm.
then, I would have fulfilled what God has called me to do. And that is what I do every day, is to help individuals. And it was a sacrifice. Unfortunately, that's what it took.
So
And
are you able to help people? I'm sorry, to understand that it's not their fault.
yes, it's not. See, that is a guilt trip. And that's another level right there. A lot of times the guilt trip comes from a different source. And so we can't allow that to set into our mind as well, because it was not her fault. She could not determine what her husband was going to do, just
Right,
like my husband, you know?
right,
They're
right,
grown men. We don't know what people are going to do,
right.
So again, she can't allow that to overcome her and to destroy her life. And individuals that bring her to that, she needs a support system where someone can say, enough is enough.
And all these years since then, not to put her business out there, but it's heartbreaking.
Mhm,
She has not gone back upstairs where
mhm,
it took place. She doesn't go in that bedroom. It's like a museum.
mm,
She sleeps in a chair
mhm.
downstairs, and then she will not go up there. And we're like, why don't we just get her in a different house? She won't leave. And so I'm gonna put this number inside
Yes,
of my family dynamic for them to use as a resource. And I anticipate that many of you will do the same thing. Listen, you may not think you're going to need this number, but wouldn't it be smart just to write it down and stick it somewhere on the refrigerator or someplace you can remember where it's at, just in case? You don't want to end up later and say, man, I wish I would have. Man, I should have. I could have. Oh boy. So use it. And miraclemindglobal.com, you see scrolling along the bottom is another road to Dr. Lena. And Dr. Lena, before we get out of here, I know you can't. I saved it for the end because I didn't want to talk out of school, because you're in a big thing right now with your brand new water.
yes.
Tell everybody about that, how exciting it is, what you can tell, just so they'll know it's on the way, it's coming, and to keep their eye out.
Absolutely. We do have a brand of alkaline water that is out. And if you are interested, please send us an email to miraclemindglobal.com, or you can send it to, if I may put the other email in there, which is
Sure.
just water at gmail.com. We are looking for individuals if you want to invest, because now is the time. The way things are coming down the pipe, if individuals don't have, things in order, a lot are going to be left behind. And so
Mm.
we say, invest in something that's going to be long term. Invest in something that you can have a legacy, leave a legacy. And so this is a part of what we're doing. We're interested in people who want to invest, people who want to build. Miracle Mind Global is about collaborating and building and teamwork, because you can do more with numbers.
There you go. There, I'm thinking maybe I'll come up with the first alkaline ice. Well, I mean, it does melt in your stuff. And if I'm just saying, see, y'all laughing, but watch next month when they say introducing alkaline ice. I'll be like, ooh, wee. See, mm-hmm. Dr. Lena's face be right next to it. Right. She's gonna give us, and she just has given us the email for the and what's the name of it?
It's imbue.
Imbue. I knew I was gonna mess it up if I said it. So you guys, I am going to drop this link in your comment section right now so that it's there before we get out of here. And we will drop miraclemindglobal.com inside of the same chat thread at the conclusion of today's broadcast. Well, we're just about out of time, but what an informative, illuminated, and enlightening conversation I can say we've had today. Thank you for allowing me to just kind of push you into the youth thing. I think I just felt the need to address that particular issue.
Yes.
And for all the things you've said today that help us understand, don't leave yourself out of the equation as far as the red flags and the people closest to you. These things hide in plain sight, people. They're savvy. You know, when you were talking about social media and stuff and the kids and their workarounds and stuff, it boils down, we need to be savvier. Is that a word? Or more savvy. We need to be more savvy than the things that do not serve us. So there it is. Dr. Lena, you guys reach out to her, check her out. You won't be sorry. Check out the podcast. Tell them when that airs, where.
Yes, we have a monthly podcast. Well, every other Monday. It's called Mask Off Monday. And you can find the schedule on our website as well, where you come on and you're a guest and you remove your mask of pain, trauma, or whatever you've experienced. And many people are masking. And so we want people to know that it's okay to remove your mask because
It's all about the healing.
It can be very heavy. Yes.
Love the work you do. Thank you so much. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. And listen, to all of you out there, thank you so much for being a part of today's 2 or More. Okay, fulfilling that promise. I just love you. And tomorrow we're going to have Danny Joe. Danny Joe is, believe it or not, a psychic medium. She's been on television, works with a lot of celebrities. Wait till you hear some of the things that she has to share with us tomorrow right here on Bathrobe Moments. In the meantime, get out and have the best day ever. Do whatever you need to do to find your highest self in this day. Concentrate on the now. The rest can wait. It'll be here before you know it. I'll meet you tomorrow morning, God willing, right over there on the front porch, where together we'll do all this again. Another illuminated conversation within this divine space known as Bathrobe Moments. Get out of here. And as I tell you every morning, I love you. I love you. I love you. And there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Dr. Lena. Great job.
You.
Bye, everybody. See you soon.